Hey y'all, it's me, Hetty, and I'm going to share with you another experience. Mainly, it was my youngest boy had it. And I know it's real. I know it's real. Because there's no way it could have happened the way it did. Alright, so I'm just going to get into it. This is my daddy, about my daddy. This is going to be a hard one. Y'all, I'm going to try to keep my emotions out of this, but we are talking about my daddy, and I admit I was a daddy's baby girl. So I was the youngest, and that was my daddy. What I'm going to say, I had the best daddy in this whole wide world. I know that. I was very blessed with the best man you could ever imagine. Well, my daddy suddenly died in 2005. And my parents had a house where there was a huge in-law suite underneath. And my husband and I and our 3 boys lived there underneath by choice. So anyway, by choice, we lived together. And my 2 oldest boys were in elementary school. And my youngest boy was just home with me. And I had had health issues already, and I couldn't work full time any longer. I'd already had back surgery and things like that. I'd had several things happen. And my son was, let's see, I guess he had just turned 4 when this happened. But of course, the boys were so thrilled living with Grandmama and Granddaddy, because they really were. I mean, my whole family will tell you that. You couldn't have ordered better grandparents or a mom and daddy. Anyway, my youngest boy was just a little bit over 3 when my daddy passed suddenly from a heart attack. Oh, I can't even hardly talk about that. It's still devastating. Devastated my mother. They were high school sweethearts. But that's not what this story's about. So anyway, but when I would go take the boys to school, or if I had a school meeting or something like that, and my youngest, my baby boy, he would just go upstairs and be with Grandma and Granddaddy while I left. So I didn't have to drag him around the school or anything like that. Or sometimes just grocery shopping, you know. Anyway, it was so, on a side note, it was so funny when we all lived together. And of course, I would say, Mama, you know, I'd be calling my mama and Mama. And so my youngest boy, he didn't call her Grandmama like everybody else did. Everybody else called her Grandmama. But he called her Mama because I did. That was always so cute how he called her Mama. So anyway, that had nothing to do with what happened. So long story short, moving ahead, it was a very, very bad time for our entire family. Well, my mama couldn't stand to stay in the house anymore without my daddy there. And so my brother and sister-in-law, they said, look, just come on out. We got plenty of room. You come here. And she did. She left. Well, then that left me in the house without them. And it was just an empty feeling. I don't know. So a house came up available literally across the street from my brother. And it was a cul-de-sac. So it was just across from a cul-de-sac. So we had moved into that house. It came up about 6 months after my daddy had passed. And then, of course, the family, we sold the other house and all that. That has nothing to do with it. So I'm living out there. That way I can be close to my mama. But anyway, like I had told you, my oldest 2 boys were in, I think my middle son, my first son was in, he skipped a couple of grades, so I'll have to think about that. I think my middle son was in 2nd grade. And I'd have to double check that. It doesn't matter. Those details don't matter. All I know is my son, I had decided to not put him in preschool because it was just me and him. And I could just do it old school because my other sons had gone to preschool and he was doing everything they were and then some. So at the same age. But anyway, like I said, at this point, he had turned 4 just very recently. And so every day, it was just, we were alone. Big boys were in school, husband at work, and of course he's going to take a nap. I was still going to let him take a nap, just about an hour, not long. So it was time for him to lay down for his nap. Well, as mamas do, mommies in my case, you know, you lay down with them, read them a little story, and get them to drift off, you know. But anyway, he was just about to fall asleep, but he would always look around the room again. And out of the blue, I'm holding that book, and I'm trying to read it to him. And he's almost drifted asleep, but he's still looking around the room. He is not asleep. He's just getting sleepy. He bolts upright in the bed and looks over in the corner of my bedroom and screams, "Granddaddy! Granddaddy! Granddaddy!" and starts waving at him frantically. "Granddaddy!" He's just giggling and waving at Granddaddy. I said, "What?" He said, "Granddaddy, right there." And I look, and I don't see anything. And then he said, and then he got sad. He said, "Oh, he's going away." Like that, you know. Well, I mean, I was in shock. I mean, it came out of nowhere. I had chills going down my spine. And I don't want to say I thought I saw something fading. I want to kind of say I do, but I don't want to just put that thought in my head because I'm not really sure. I was in such shock because I could see by his face, and you know your children. This boy saw what he said he saw. So then I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, and I said, "Well, what did Granddaddy have on?" I was curious of what Granddaddy had on. And he said, "Oh, you know, his navy t-shirt." And my daddy's favorite t-shirt was just old beat up navy t-shirt, and it had a pocket. And he always had a paper towel in his pocket. and I said, "Well, what did he have on the bottom?" He said he had on his shorts. I couldn't believe it. He hadn't. I mean, my children knew how devastated and sad I was, and they saw how sad Grandmama was, and their uncle, and the whole family, their cousins. So they knew that, but he was too little, and like I said, he was getting ready to doze. It's almost like he had a pot of coffee, and he just sat up right. His eyes were big as saucers, and screamed out, "Granddaddy!" He was smiling and waving at him. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, my daddy had always said that he hoped my baby boy, he could see him get grown like his oldest grandsons. And that always stuck with me. I remember that. And I just think, I don't know, my daddy knew. I was just, it was so sudden, and I was so devastated. I just think he wanted to come, and he always wanted to be there for my youngest boy, and he had been close with him from the day he was born, of course. That's how they were. And so I just think my daddy was checking on us and wanted to see him one more time and wave at him, and I think that's what happened. So anyway, hindsight, it's happy. I'm happy he had that experience because nobody else had that experience, but he did. And I just felt like that was his youngest grandson. He just wanted to check on him, and maybe checking on me. I don't know. But anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get too emotional about it, but that truly did happen. And I was just in shock for days over that. So anyway, those are actual experiences that really happened. Now, I've had a lot of feelings. I do experience feelings, even, to this day. I know when something's afoot. I'll put it like that. I'm dead serious. No pun intended. But I said that before in another video, didn't I? Anyway, that's true. It happened. I hope I haven't bored y'all, but it's just this time of year, and I do want to, everybody seems to want to tell their tale. So I thought I'd share that with y'all. All right, I hope to be cooking soon, y'all. I do have a few other kind of non-cooking videos coming up, but it's good information. I hope you will stay tuned for that. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.